Let's get into it.
All right.
What is going on with casting?
Crickets. But can you be more specific?
Yeah, I'll happily be more specific. Almost too specific.
Okay.
What's going on right now that is frustrating you with actors? What are they doing wrong lately?
Oh, with actors?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. I mean, I hate.
What are we messing up?
I hate this whole pet peeve of it all because you guys are hustling and you're doing the best you can. So I'm not somebody who's going to say, oh, staple your resume to your headshot or whatever. I just think you need to be taking care of your process more.
Yeah.
You need to be taking care of yourselves more, giving yourself enough time to do things and not be running around like a crazy person. Because otherwise, I think this business is sort of a hybrid of being serene and terrified.
Yeah.
So you kind of fluctuate between those two poles.
Right.
So just trying to take care of yourself, getting to your auditions early so you're not freaking out, preparing yourself properly for your audition, even if it's for a Geico ad.
Hey.
Wink. Just taking care of your process is really important. And I don't see people doing that.
That is frustrating. I've the more I've been here, the more I've realized actors have a fear of putting in effort. It's weird because I think they fear the success maybe. So they don't want to prepare. They want to self-sabotage almost in a weird way.
Well, no, it's hard to prepare. It's hard to commit, especially on shows like I work on, where you might be, crying over the loss of your dead wife or your dead girlfriend or something. And you have to put so much of yourself into it.
Absolutely.
And then you don't get it. It really kind of burns you. Like, well, I'm not going to put that much effort into it. I'll just do like 70% of the work. And if they see, a glimmer, maybe I'll get it. No, you can't do that. You have to, the people who book, they are animals. I mean, they go after things full force, completely off book, dress the part, have a prop. They've really invested their time, and that's hard to do.
Yeah, no.
It's a huge commitment.
But it's proof that you want it.
Well, it's proof that you're taking care of your process. That you're in it.
You mentioned props. Are you okay with props? I never know what to do with props because I feel like if it's not a phone or like a bottle of water, don't do it.
So I'm going to tell you a secret.
Give it to me.
Okay. So I did something really crazy once, and I went back and I looked over 1,000 auditions, 1,000 people who booked.
Oh, okay.
People who actually booked the job, and I went back and I said, what do these people have anything in common?
This is
anything
juicy.
at all? And they did, and I'm not going to tell you all of them because I teach that in my class, so I'm not going to tell you here. But anyway,
wow, look at that hook, line, and sinker.
But one thing that people do, well, actually, I will tell you. One thing that people they're off book. They're like straight up paper not in the hand, off book.
Yeah.
The next thing is they're dressed the part, not like condescendingly dressed, but like easy to see you in the role. And the third thing that they do is they put a well-placed prop that is so subtle that maybe I don't even notice it, but it just places you in the scene. Like, for example, I was casting the role of a bartender since we're drinking beer. So anybody can be a bartender, right? You could be a bartender. Anybody, any shape, size, ethnicity.
Yeah.
So I brought in every shape, size, ethnicity for this role. And this one girl came in, and since we're on a podcast, you can't see what I'm doing, but she very subtly took out a bandana from her jeans, and during the scene was just kind of doing this.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like rubbing her hands together, and then it just went away. And the room, like you could just feel the room change, and it just kind of set her. And I don't think I even noticed that she had done that until I went back and looked at her audition. And I see people just doing, using a pen, using, your earrings, your real keys, your real backpack, just something that just makes it easy for them to see you in the real scene can be super helpful.
I revise what I said. All of those make sense to me. I think I struggle more with like kind of extra level props.
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah.
food and things like that.
No, but if she'd come in and had like a bottle of Jack Daniels and a shot glass and started like pretending to bartend, that would not have been appropriate. But you if you can be tricky,
subtle.
It's
all
all
very
subliminal.
subtle.
It's all subtle. It's subliminal. It works on the people who are who are going to cast you, which is not me, but the producers and the directors.
Yeah.
It works on their subconscious, and I see it work over and over and over again. Just a subtle, well placed, even just wearing glasses or wearing a watch and being able to refer to those little things can be super helpful.
Yeah, it's inhabiting that thing. It's cool that you didn't even recognize it, probably because she was just so engaging that
Absolutely.
you fell into her trance.
But it just placed her.
Yeah.
It just really made it easy to see her in the role, and that's what you want.
I feel like the actors I've had on this podcast honestly are down the middle, 50-50 on holding the sides and not. And you say don't even hold them, it's a distraction.
Okay, so this is very controversial. This is very
For casting directors too, I think.
Yes. And so here's the thing. According to my data,
Hey, I love data.
I'm a scientist. So over the 1,000 auditions of people who booked, right? Mm-hmm. And this is across all genre. This is across comedy, procedurals, video games, indie films, everything that I've ever worked on, which is, a lot of different things. It holds true.
Yeah.
So the people who book are off book. Their face is out of the page. They're completely available because it's very subtle. And again, you can't see what I'm doing, but even
they maybe can.
But even just that little
glancing down,
glance. I've seen it. You feel it in the room. The people just disengage, and it's subtle and it's psychological and it's subliminal. But something about it makes people not trust you or get kind of nervous about you. And it's not something that they articulate, but you can feel it when the next person comes in and they are completely straight up off book. Now, I know a lot of my colleagues say, no, don't be off book, hold it in your hand, blah, blah, blah. I would say that if they went back and they looked at the people who really are booking the roles, they would see the trend that I see.
Sure.
But also they've probably been burned. They've been burned with people who come in, think they're off book, and then they're really not. And you can see it in their eyes, and they're like struggling to remember the next line, and they're underprepared.
Yeah.
They're not off book. And so I understand that a lot of my colleagues are like, no, just hold it in your hand, But I'm just saying that the people who are really in it, who are really working.
When did you do this Watch the 1,000 auditions? Was this recently?
This was over the past few years.
What was the purpose for it? I'm honestly just curious. I love it.
I was an actor first before I got into to casting. And so I was on Broadway. I was off Broadway. So off Broadway, it's like called Montauk. I've done...
Who invited the comedian? I thought I was talking to a casting director.
And when I transitioned into casting, of course, I was so interested to see why people booked.
Yeah, absolutely.
And did they have something in common? So I was like a little spy, and I would just listen to what the producers would say and just kind of see if I saw anything that people had in common. And then once I was able to have enough clips, once I became an associate and then a casting director, and I had a huge body of clips from all of the auditions and all the roles that I'd auditioned, I just made a huge database and I just went down the line, and I thought that I saw a trend, and I did.
That's fucking awesome.
I mean, it's just there. It's really not my opinion. It's just there.
Let me ask you about this data points. Is this the majority guest stars then, or
it's everything?
It's everything.
It's everything. Yeah.
Wow. Mm-hmm. That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Because for like co-stars and probably even guest stars, I can see completely being off book. But if it's like a series regular, I feel like
if it's a series regular and they're testing,
a
lot of them will be completely off
book.
book.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. When
That's
they're
nuts.
testing. Yeah.
The counter to it, though, of course, is if I'm coming in and I don't have a script and I give you what I give you and you don't like it, then you think that's what the best I can do.
No.
So I think a lot of people...
Who thinks that?
I don't. I'm just saying what other people say. They want to present something this is what they've got, but there's more to come.
Yeah. Well, if a director is interested in you at all, they're going to redirect you.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to take that redirection.
Yeah.
So I don't really buy that. I've heard that a couple times before, but I've never really experienced that.
I don't disagree with you.
Oh, okay.
I don't bring scripts in, but a lot of people lately are like, oh, you got to carry it.
You can certainly have it in your hand, but I would not refer to it.
Yeah.
And especially if you're doing a scene where you have to have a gun and, like you're holding your cell phone like it's a gun. Like I do, on my show, we have a lot of people who have guns and knives and bombs and everything. But if you have your script in your hand, it just is a big mess.
Yeah.
And so it's just better that I don't even notice, oh, wow, they were completely off book.